Thank you for tuning in to Rap Palettes Music Business 101. And today we're going to talk about 360 deals. I know a lot of y'all who are in the music industry who getting signed. I know y'all might be some independent artists or producers who listen to me. And I just want to try to put you up on game for somebody who was in the music industry who walked away from a deal because it just wasn't right, And just for you to start to learn some things and build some ownership and stuff like that so you can know what you're dealing with. Now, I know a lot of y'all might hear this term 360. It has a number of different terms. Multi-contract deal. But this was the architect of Leo Coin, and I don't know if a lot of y'all know this, but when the streaming age came in, Napster and all that, they changed the record business. So the record company was not making money off of music no more. So now they had to construct a new way so they can eat. So now what they do now is the way they eat is they get a piece of everything you do. Doesn't matter. You get a business deal outside of music, they get a piece of it. You get a commercial, they get a piece of it. All of that. Now I just want to break a couple things down to y'all so y'all can understand what I'm saying. You're going to see some images pass through there. And just to give you a gist of what's going on, but I just want to break down what you can get yourself into. Now, I'm gonna try to do it in increments. You feel me? So the first one is this: a lot of y'all who are independent, stay independent. If you're hot, if somebody was financing y'all, stay independent. A lot of y'all think y'all need a deal. Because that's an old-fashioned way of thinking. But thanks to the internet days and you got these DSPs like DistroKid and stuff like that, you really don't need a label. You just got to learn how to work your social medias. Point blank period. Now, from the days that the only way that artists needed a label, those things are done. It's diminished. But the thing about it is, a lot of y'all don't have a do-it-yourself attitude. You feel me? And that's when you might need to get a deal. So I'm going to read some stuff to you. Now, first, going DIY for the longest as possible means that you don't have to share no money with nobody. Secondly, it would encourage you to learn something about the business side of music, which too many people avoid. A lot of y'all artists just focus on rap and don't know the business sides of it. So that's why there's some books I'm going to recommend at the end of this. So making them easy targets for unfair treatment by managers, labels, music publishers. And remember, while you may care about the music only, you have to have a real career. Only if you're making money at this. If you don't learn about the business sides, people would take advantage of you. So many people have got taken advantage. Migos, Kanye West, J. Cole, the list goes on. The girl from San Francisco, Keisha, whatever her name is. So, and that's the thing. Now, the third one is this one. You're not going to find any doors open at good record labels. There's no such thing as a good record label unless you can show them that people are ready to pay for your music. If you labels are still interested in making beautiful music, but all of them are interested in making beautiful music, profiting, and if you show them that you have already sold lots of downloads, or you own, or that you can fill a 500 venue with your own fan base, then they'll take you seriously. Fourth, I want you to think about this, people. Having a meeting with label execs to sell them on signing you or what they're signing, or having them ask to invest in you, out of that. Or if you have your demos, you're asking them to buy into one of the thousands of artists that are seeking a deal. But if you walk into a meeting room with 10,000 units sold and a track record of selling venues with your fans, then people will have a talk with you. Those days of shopping demos is over. It's over. Now here's the thing. A lot of y'all cats thinking y'all gonna come and get a standard deal. Which would be very one-sided against you. You may even be able to attract an interest from 7 labels so they can start having a bidding war for you. And I've seen this happen for many people. Now, here's the thing. And which don't mean nothing because they all gonna give you a shitty deal. Now here's my second point. Why you should never ever sign a 360 deal. If the label doesn't have the money to invest in you. Listen here. You can have your homeboys or people on the block, they even sign and catch a 360 deal. Do not sign it if people don't have an invest in you and the bag is not big. Now remember, you're giving up a percentage of income on every single thing you do because the label think that will take your career to the next level. Now, mind you, they invest in a whole bunch of marketing dollars, okay? And but a label can't do that if he doesn't have enough cash to do that. So peep it. They paying for the radio, the demo, the web designer. They set up digital sales on iTunes, choreographing, promoting your live appearances, creating and advertising your music, pay to produce a first-class video. They putting all this money, so that's the reason why they're giving you that. Now, you could subsequently cut that in half and do those things yourself. Anyone can start a company and call it a record label. There's no legal requirement to be a label, to be licensed. 4 of your homeboys can come and start a label. Now, here's the thing. The actual definition of a record label that owns sound recordings, copyrights, are more about that later. I'll go about that later with y'all. There's no requirements of being honest, knowledge of the industry, investment of capital, or anything. So this doesn't give you FAR or anything to get signed. And if you sign to the wrong company, and some companies call themselves labels, may know less than the music business than you do. If you must be signed to a label, call a lawyer and they spring them $100. It'll cost you to set up your own label. Then you can be signed to yourself. Listen now. Call a lawyer. Get a regular entertainment lawyer, not a criminal attorney, a regular entertainment lawyer. You know. Now here's the thing. For a lot of y'all cats who want to get signed, and you know what I mean, because some of y'all not gonna run away. Some of y'all not going to walk away from it, because you got a lot of these dudes like Hot Boy, fresh out of Orlando, Florida. He signed. I don't know what his deal situation, but for a lot of y'all do sign, make sure there's an escape clause in it. You know what I mean? One of the saddest moments is, you know what I mean, to have a meeting with a signed artist who have been put on a shelf. You know what I mean? Most 360 deals tie you up for 5 to 7 years, meaning that you can't put out no music or anything, no merch, no nothing, which stop you from making money to feed your family, to do anything, not even record a release of music. Now, if the label runs out of money or discovers a new artist that will pay off more than what you will, they'll leave you hanging around still signed to them, but nothing will do nothing, no support. You know what I mean? There's no two ways to avoiding this problem when you get a deal, you know what I mean, or negotiate. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can access a music release clause where they release you from the label to release each of your tracks within a certain time in a certain market or a certain amount of promotion, or you can assist to just terminate the contract. You know what I mean? Now here's the thing though. Now I'm gonna put y'all on for other clauses to watch out for. First, you need to know how long the deal lasts. Okay? Now if you're in your 20s or you're thinking about signing a 5-album deal, you're gonna be stuck in there until your 30s. Remember that. If it doesn't work out with your first label and you're 30 and you're a female, it will be very difficult to reignite your career within a new label, simply because the nature of sexism in the entertainment business requires females to be young. Don't blame it on me, blame it on our popular culture. Even if you're a guy, the idea of you starting over in your 30 requires a huge effort. It's benefit that your label assigns you to you as long as possible so they can make as much money as possible. A 5-album 360 deal requires the album to record and distribute 5 albums. The contract just says the label has an option to do so. And if you're unhappy with album 1, even if you never get around to recording album 1, even if you never get around to recording album 2, they don't have to release the full-length album of your deal. So you want to negotiate these things, you know what I mean, to a short term if possible. Second, you need to know that what revenue streams are actually being covered under the 360 deal. A lot of y'all don't know that. You know what I mean? It's a traditional for labels to insist percentages on record sales. Usually the label will take a lion's share on your received percentage of royalties and record sales. Other revenue streams include fees like performances, sales, merchandising, using your name in pictures, money for composing copyrights, publishing, money and other. I'm gonna talk about that later. Now, money from products from endorsements, money from producing music, money from booking you might, or you know what I mean, even money for a movie, or even you might get featured in a play. They get a piece of all of that. Now, the third thing is this: you need to understand how your royalties work throughout this whole thing. You know what I mean? Throughout a royalty account. Your royalty account starts as a huge financial hole. You know what I mean? This is your balance sheet, which you say that you might owe the label. You feel me? You know what I mean? And hold that digs you need to know to climb out before begin paying for anything. For an example, let's say that the label spent $200,000 on your record. buying radio advertisement, the launch, organizing videos, live performances. Your royalty account starts with $200,000 as a deficit, meaning that you're in the red. Now, let's see how that you're successful to sell the copies of your first single to yield $100,000 in revenue. In this scenario, your first royalty check will show that you still owe the label $100,000. So now, out $200,000 is still unrecoupable. They haven't been recouped their amount, so there will be no royalty payment to you unless the other $100,000 is paid revenue. So you got to be in the black $200 before they even give you something. So, and because you're a signed artist and you're not operating on a DIY basis, you have no control over recoupable expenses. And if the label decides he needs to rent a Royce convertible while attending your recording session, and they need said flee to fly you first class early to concert, the expenses added on to your royalty account, and then, so it's a bad idea to assume that even your successful for record will make money, off your royalty. Now, here's the thing, people. In a 360 deal, I want you to remember the label revenue goes far beyond record sales. Typically, it includes at least a percentage of your live performance. Every day you out there performing shows, your merchandise, anything that carries your picture, your name, any product that you endorse. This is not necessarily a bad thing if you think about it, because the more money the label thinks it will make you more, they're investing to your career. But still be careful about this. The 800-pound negotiating point in many 360 deals involves in the revenue as a composer. If you write little or none of your music and think that you will never, this is not important point, be aware of that. Despite the greater glamour, geeks and goals of the performing life, in many cases, the real money is made in the composer rights, the publishing. That's how you're able to live and eat for free forever. You know what I mean? So if you're not looking at that, then you put yourself in a situation, So the last thing I want to tell y'all, because I don't want this to be drawn out, because I think I'm already at 13 minutes. There's 3 things in business you must know before signing. I want you to know this, and I'm gonna leave you after I tell you this. There are 2 copyrights in every place of a recording music. You have the composer, you have the sound record. Okay? Now there are 2 separate copyrights. One is for publishing, the other one is the master recording. Now this is where you hear people talking about masters and owning. If you don't own your masters, then you can't get paid on other things. You get paid off the writing, but you can't get paid off of streams and all the other stuff and mechanical and all that. Like, you gotta understand that. Now, secondly, under Contract Act, ownership is magically created when fixed. Okay? I want you to remember that. So it's a tangible medium. So, but the key point is the owner of the copyright is the Copyright Act. So let's say you Picasso or something like that. Matter of fact, it is getting too long, but check this out. 360 deals are no good. Stay independent. Get your DistroKid account. Get these 3 books I'm going to recommend for you right now. All right? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me pull my thing up. These 3 books I recommend. All You Need to Know About Music Business, 10th edition by Daniel S. Passman. How to Make It in a New Music Business, Practical Tips in Building a Loyal Following and Making It as a Musician, Ari Herstand, and Music, Money, and Success, the Insider Guide to Music Business. I'm going to leave links in the description from Jeff Brabec and Todd. These books, just get these books. There's only 6, it's not that much, okay? You can buy one and read one every month. So this is Rap Palette, and I'm out. Peace.